Yeah. We're just talking to Jacob about his All-Star selection. I used to him a couple days ago. What can you just say about the season he's had? Kind of speaks volume to it, to officially be recognized by the fans as an All-Star. What can you just say about that selection?
No, I think it's quite an honor. It's quite an accomplishment. I mean, you look at the guys that he was competing against for the starting spot in the All-Star game, and to have the fans vote him in as first-time rookie shortstop, it's pretty telling in terms of just the recognition, not just from us as an organization that we understand the year he's having, but from collectively the community that loves baseball, and it showed with the votes. He's done not just enough on our end to say he should be our All-Star, but on everyone's end, really.
Before the season, you had high expectations for him. Was being an All-Star something that you guys felt was a possibility for him this early?
Ooh, that's a great question, Martin. I mean, there's always a high level of expectation based on the performance that we saw, and the opportunity that was in front of him to kind of capture it. Yet, if you would have asked me in March, is Jacob Wilson going to be your All-Star? I said, he has a chance, but I would not probably have put him in the category to be the starting shortstop over Bobby Witt or Kevin Pena and guys like that.
What does that say about maybe just the popularity, his popularity when you guys are playing in a market like Sacramento that can still kind of shine through?
I think that obviously he's put himself out there with the performances that he's had in April, May. I also feel like the MLB network, the community that's now built to publicize these players, recognize the season that he was having and made everyone aware of it. Like you said, it's West Coast baseball versus East Coast baseball. It's tough to get the East Coast population really interested in what goes on out here because it happens late, and the market is small, like you said, outside of the LA market. It's generally New York, Boston, Chicago. So for Jacob to get that national publicity and recognition says a lot about what he did in the first 2 months of the season to compete, head to head with Aaron Judge in terms of being a hit leader. Those things obviously accelerated that recognition and drove the fans to take a good look at what he's really accomplishing right now as a rookie, and he's having a pretty solid season.
What's the challenge for him as the sample size grows and the scouting report evolves with him? The challenge for him in his second half of his rookie season to continue with this consistency, and how do you think his makeup allows him to be consistent?
Well, the makeup's there. I mean, he's very confident, which, when he doesn't get a hit, he oftentimes wonders, like, what's going on, and it's a really tough game. There's a lot of failure in this game, so for him, I think the biggest adjustments, he's got to make the adjustments to what they're doing to him as from the league standpoint. There's recognition that they're pitching him in a little bit more, that he's expanding in. But I mean, he can put the barrel to the baseball really in any location. The biggest challenge for Jacob is going to be the amount of games that he has left to play in the season. The physicality of the season gets harder and harder as we get into August. We're well aware of that, and we're going to stay focused on, making sure we stay on top of his nutrition, his, physical stature, really. And outside of that, I think strength becomes the issue down the road.
Speaking of rookies, Jacob Wilson isn't the only rookie to receive recognition. Nick Kurtz just got Rookie of the Month for AL for June. Just speak to what type of production those two have brought you since they've been with the team either at the start of the season or in early April, in Nick Kurtz's case.
Yeah, for Nick, I mean, really rushed kind of through the system. Got here, had to make some adjustments. From the time he got here through May, you saw those adjustments show up in June, and well-deserved honor for Nick. Quite an accomplishment to come in and win an award like that. Says a lot about the player we have. Says a lot about his future. We all know that he's talented, and he's amongst that group of draftees last season that have gotten to the big leagues really fast. I think for Nick, he's performing at a really high level amongst that group.
What type of adding?
That rush move you made today, it seems very significant both ways, and back and
For Urias exiting the game on Wednesday, the hamstring hasn't made a ton of improvement. So there's a lot of question to his availability, at least through this series. And to play shorthanded would be tough this series. So Urias is going to go on the IL. And Zach Gallup, coming off his rehab, will obviously join this group. He's been a part of this group. We felt it was important to give him this opportunity, to start here with them. And, I think for us, this group out there today is a group that you can, talk about going forward as a group that can be here for a while and win together.
What type of atmosphere are you expecting tonight with the Giants and Tony?
Well, Townie described it earlier, and I'm trying to remember the word he used, but spirit. Thank you. Spirited is what I want to say. Yeah, it'll be spirited tonight.
Is that something that ever comes up when you talk to the players about the circumstances, like being spirited? I think.
You talk to them. It's they understand the environment. There's going to be a lot of excitement, a lot of energy. There was a lot of excitement and energy in New York, right? But different. So, these guys know, that obviously San Fran, Oakland, there's a lot of history to these two organizations, not just longevity, but from playing against each other and what really the whole series is about.
You guys have 7 players in the starting lineup that were drafted. You guys just what does that speak to the organization, kind of what's taking place here the past few years with identifying these guys?
Yeah, I think it speaks volumes to the organization, from the scouting department to our baseball operations department. You've got, like you said, guys that were drafted, guys that were developed. That shows the amount of work that not just the scouting department and development side has done to get them here and to prepare them.
You seem very confident right now on Elvis, not the singer, but the right-hander Dominican pitcher. And you use him in a very tight situation on Wednesday, and he came to fall down. What are some of the things you have seen that have improved on Elvis for him to be pitching so well?
Well, the biggest thing on Wednesday, bringing him in, we were down 6-2. I think for him, the signs of improvement showed up Wednesday with getting through an inning in the third and throwing, I believe, under 20 pitches. That's the type of outing that we need to see. We need to see more of, not just from Elvis, but from other guys down there when they come in. It's important that they go out and throw strikes, keep their pitch count down, and be available, and also at the same time, whether we're down or up, hold the score.